Hey there, Tyler Parsons again, bringing you a couple of exercises today you can do to look at your thoracic extension. So what we want to look at is, one, what causes issues with the thoracic extension, and mainly that is just due to poor posture. We could have a couple of injuries that could pop up, but everybody likes to sit and they have their rounded shoulders, they're slumped forward, head is caught down, looking at the phones, computers. And what we want to do is try to not only address that for daily life, but for the golf swing. And part of the reason that we want to do so is we've all seen the people up on a tee box who set up and are nice and rounded. And what this is doing is restricting how they can turn. We're going to get in through here, and now the person isn't going to be able to continue to make a proper turn. And what we see is they like to stand up. The spine gets taller, we see the shoulder plane go out, and then the very first thing they do is they've got to try to time it and get back down onto that plane. And we can see, as I'm doing so, my hands are coming over, we're going to get steep, cut across it, getting into a bag of worms that we don't want to touch. So, the big thing is going to be to open this up so that we can first get into a good posture, and then we can learn to stabilize and stay on that intended path. The very first thing that we want to do is we need to open that up. So I have a foam roller here, and what we're going to do is put this down onto the ground, and we're going to start with our back here. I'll take my arms so they're up and over, and I just want to try and lean back and drop that down the best I can. I'll come up, roll down a little bit, and do the exact same thing. And we're just going to slowly work our way up that thoracic spine, trying to get that head down and the hands down so that we get range of motion in through there, okay? And the harder it's going to be for us, the more that we want to spend time on this. And from here, I like to just roll down a little bit and try to help that. So that is going to help open that up, again, to get more range of motion. Once we're finished there, we have to look at the musculature of that and how can we help improve it, because it's one thing to stretch it out, but then we need the proper things put in place to help it prevent from going back to where it was. And what I like to do is we can just go down and make the letter I with our body, and I'll put my head down on the ground and then I'll lift as high as I can. And what that's doing is working. You can see my back wanting to lift up a little bit, so I'm helping out with those muscles, but I'm also activating into those lower traps. We might be activating into the delts. There's a couple different things depending on sort of where each person is and progressed. But once we do our letter I, I'll go back in the same position, and then I can work the letter Y, and then I can go over, and then I can do our T's. And each one of those are going to work that back a little bit different so that, again, we're strengthening those muscles, because it's not just enough to stretch them. We want to stretch and then help them stay back. So again, start to pay attention to that posture. Have that head up, shoulders back, chest up a little bit, engage back into those scapula, help everything maintain its correct function so that whenever we set up to the golf ball, we can get into a proper posture. And again, start to learn what it's like to actually rotate correctly instead of having to compensate. We want to eliminate all the compensations we can in the golf swing so that you can start to enjoy and play better golf.